Hey everyone, welcome back to RacquetGuys. Today we're going to take a little bit of a deep dive into the Wilson brand. We're going to talk about all the different families of rackets, who they're for, and sort of what the play style is that they're based around. Before we get started though, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and the bell notification button, as in the future we're going to take an even deeper dive into each of the families and talk about them in great detail. First up, we're going to talk about the Blade family. This is Wilson's control and feel family of rackets. They're a little bit more flexible, or they tend to be a little bit more flexible at the very least. Really good control, really solid, really good at redirecting pace, but also really good at generating your own pace if you have a bit of a faster swing speed. They're very versatile. They're good all around the court, which is why they're really good for an all-court player. The Blade is also the most used family on tour, endorsed by pros like Sabalenka, Tsitsipas, among a lot of others. It's really common to see players hitting with a Blade on tour. Again, lots of control, lots of feel, which is great for a tour player, but also really good for your average player as well. A couple of the techs that Wilson has added to the Blade this year are the click and go grommets, just to make changing grommets a little bit easier. Direct connect system with the butt cap, where the butt cap's no longer removable. It's part of the grommets, gives you a little bit more connection to the ball and to the frame, so you get a little bit better feedback. And most importantly is stable feel. They added stable feel to just give the frame a little bit more solid feel at impact without sort of sacrificing any of that control or any of that feel. Gives you a tiny little boost in power as well, which is always welcome. Anybody looking for control, looking for feel, definitely a Blade is a great option. Next up, we have the Pro Staff. Now, Wilson puts the Pro Staff in their precision line, but with the weight that you get in a lot of the Pro Staffs and with how they play, they're actually very powerful as well. For the V14, Wilson added what's called paradigm bending. Basically, it just brings some of that classic Pro Staff feel to the new generation of frames. It's a little bit more flexible in the throat without really sacrificing any of the stability or the stiffness, or especially the power that you're looking for in a modern player's frame. It's really good for aggressive baseliners, someone that's looking to attack with pace and move forward in the court, hopefully to finish the ball off with a volley or just to hit a clean winner on that approach. They're really, really good control, lots of easy pop. There's a reason that some of the pros on tour use a Pro Staff, like Dimitrov and Jabeur. There's lots of feel there, there's lots of control, but they can still hit with a lot of pace. Obviously, can't mention a Pro Staff without mentioning Fed. There is a Fed spec of the Pro Staff, which is called the RF97. They're really heavy, they're definitely not for everybody, but if you can manage that kind of weight, it's a great frame. Overall, really good family of rackets, lots of control, lots of easy pace, and if you're an aggressive player, definitely a Pro Staff is something to take a look at. Next up, we have what is the newest family to Wilson, and it's the Wilson Shift. Now, Wilson says the Wilson Shift is for a player looking for controllable power through massive spin. I would say that's fairly accurate, actually. With the way the Shift is designed, the increased lateral flex or vertical bending, however you want to call it, with a slightly stiffer hoop, means you get a lot of dwell time, especially when you're hitting with a more vertical path and hitting with more spin. And the more spin you try to generate with the Shift, the more spin you're going to get, but also the more control you get. With the 16x20 or the 18x20 pattern in the Pro, lots of control there. I would definitely say that the Shifts in general are geared more towards an aggressive baseliner, but also a little bit more of an advanced player. I wouldn't really give this to any kind of beginner, as it really is, you really have to generate some decent swing speed in order to get the most out of any of the Shifts, but they are fantastic frames. Again, really aggressive baseliner, looking to generate a ton of spin. Next up, we have the Wilson Ultra family. This is definitely Wilson's power family of rackets. There's a lot of power here. Wilson even says it on the back, it's effortless power. I would definitely have to agree. This racket is definitely for the aggressive baseliner, but not necessarily someone that wants to actually hit big and move forward in the court. You certainly can. The Ultras are definitely very stable at net, but you're probably going to hit more clean winners off the baseline or maybe approaching than you will actually be hitting volleys if you're using an Ultra. One sort of tech to note is the expanded sweet spot channel in the Ultra V4. With the expanded sweet spot channel, there's a little bit more string movement with the mains, giving you a little bit more pop, a little bit more spin as well, just because the strings can move a little bit more. And it also helps with swing speed as it is a little more of an aerodynamic frame shape. Like I said, anybody looking to hit really big from the baseline, it's also very accessible for beginners. pretty much all throughout the family. So if you're just getting started, looking for something that's easy to hit with, very forgiving, lots of easy power, definitely take a look at the Ultras. And last up in the Wilson family of frames, we have the Clash family. So the Wilson Clash is kind of their all-around, very versatile frame. Pretty much all the Clashes are really accessible to beginners and intermediates. They're looking to just get started. It's also where Wilson really started to tinker with the vertical and the horizontal flex of a frame to try to bring some more flex to the modern game. If you hit with a little bit more of a vertical path, a little more spin, again, a more modern swing path, the Clash is going to give you a lot of spin. It's going to help stiffen up as well to give you a little bit more control. If you're a player like myself who tends to hit a little bit flatter, a little more horizontal of a swing, it's going to be a little more flexible in the throat there to try to give you a little bit more control and try to bring back some of the pop off the frame. It does tend to at times be a little launchy if you hit really flat, but it's really designed for the more modern game style. It's really good all around. Beginners, intermediates are going to find a lot to like here. You should definitely check out the Clash. And before anyone chews my head off in the comments, yes, Wilson does still make the Burn line of rackets. It has been sort of dropped down. It's a little bit more of a price point frame now. Still a super solid frame. All but one of the frames actually come with a more open string pattern as well. They're really accessible for a beginner and intermediate as well that maybe is looking for something at a better price point. Still a super solid frame. It's just no longer part of Wilson's sort of top end 5 frames. So we didn't want to talk about it too much here. Thanks everyone for watching. As always, let us know down in the comments below if there's something that you want to see us take a look at, whether it's a racket, a shoe, string, whatever it is. If you have any questions about the families as well, let us know down below. And keep in mind, in the coming weeks, we're going to do a deep dive into each one of the families in the Wilson brand. So if there wasn't something I mentioned today, we are going to mention it in the future as well. As always, all the rackets from all the families that we talked about today are available in store or online at our RacquetGuys website. Thanks again, and we'll see you guys next time.